Hey guys, Joe here. Doing a video. It's a one take. I haven't done one of those in a long time, but I'm late getting into work, so it's easier just to do a one take and upload it. First off, welcome to the new subscribers. Hope you enjoy the channel. Check out the playlists and the videos. There's all kinds of different stuff, cars, video games, rants, whatever. And today's subject is going to be buying a new car or buying a used car. What are the pros and cons? I will do a couple for each, and then I will let you decide, because again, I'm not here to tell you what kind of car you should buy. I'm just here to give you all the facts and let you decide. Number one pro to buying a new car is that you get a brand new car that nobody else has ever owned. You're the first owner. That's it. Congratulations. Number two, warranties. You get a full warranty on a brand new car, be it 3-year 36,000 bumper to bumper, 5-year 60,000 mile powertrain, or more, depending on which manufacturer you go with. That is manufacturer specific. I can't tell you again which one to go with. You can always add an extended warranty if you want to compensate. Number three, maintenance. You get to decide how that car is maintained for its entire existence, at least as long as you own it. You determine what kind of oil goes in it, what kind of fuel goes in it, what kind of things you do to the vehicle in general. So there's a few pros. Cons, number one, typically going to spend a lot of money, and you're going to take the depreciation hit. So those are kind of like that. Depreciation is the second you own that vehicle, you've reduced its value. Is that saying you got ripped off? No. If you bought it well, you probably won't be feeling that hit as bad as you might. But if you buy something that's uber expensive, but there's a billion of them, you're gonna lose value. If you buy a $70,000 Tahoe today, tomorrow, it's worth 50. Just the way it goes. If you try to trade it back in tomorrow, you're gonna lose a large chunk of your money. Number two, payments. You're gonna have a high payment on a new car unless it's a very, very, very cheap car. So for example, my Mustang, I got a good deal on it because I worked for a Ford dealership when I bought it. However, I still have a $600 car payment on this vehicle. Can't get around that. It's just the way it is. I wanted a Mustang, so I wound up paying a lot of money for it. Number three, insuring a new vehicle. And this only applies if you have a loan over a certain amount. I don't know exactly what your state's rules are, but check them out to verify. But at least here, if you're on a vehicle loan for your vehicle, that sounded stupid, but I'm not re-recording. You are required to carry full coverage insurance, because if you total your car 3 months after you buy it, somebody needs to pay off the vehicle. If you don't have full coverage insurance on your vehicle and it gets wrecked, you're still on the hook for it. So if that car is completely destroyed, you still have to pay for it. No way around that. Number four, I think, maintenance. Maintenance is actually kind of expensive on some vehicles, and it can be, especially if you have to use a certain recommended type of fluid in order to maintain your warranty. My car, for example, requires 5W50 full synthetic oil in order to maintain its engine warranty. Now, I'm well out of warranty, but I still use the recommended oil because it was what was recommended for the car. And I don't see a reason to change that, especially since it's had it its whole life. If you decide to change your oil, that's completely up to you. That's about it for the cons that I feel like listing. I could go on and on and on, and I don't want to do that to you. Let's move over to the used cars. Pro. Typically, if you buy a cheap used car, you own it. It's done, no payments, great, good for you. But if you have to finance a used vehicle, it tends to be a little bit cheaper because somebody else has taken that depreciation hit. Somebody else has taken the 15, 20 grand negative that you would have absorbed had you bought the car new. That dovetails into number two, payments. Payments on a used vehicle tend to be less than for a new equivalent vehicle, as long as your credit applies. Now, if you have bad credit, you're gonna have a high payment both ways, but on a used car, sometimes it's hard to get a good interest rate when you have poor credit. Number three, warranties. You can still get factory warranties on a lot of pre-owned vehicles. A lot of pre-owned vehicles are 1-2 years old, and they have the remainder of their factory warranties. You can also get a certified pre-owned vehicle, wax on, wax off. A certified pre-owned vehicle allows you to get a vehicle that actually has a better than standard warranty, as long as it still had some warranty left when it was certified, which they all have to, otherwise typically it wouldn't be certified as well. That's actually a lie, because you can certify some vehicles up to 80,000 miles. Ignore all that. These are not the droids you are looking for. So, if you get a certified vehicle, you get one that's cheaper than original, payments are typically lower, and you get a better warranty. There you go. Modifications. So that's number 4. You can modify a car that you own much more extensively than you can one that you're just financing. I've done some modifying, I can't say the word. I've done some modifications to this car, but none of the modifications I did voided the warranty. All I did to it was I did axle back exhaust, painted the roof, and lowered the suspension a little bit. But because I didn't have to add any components or modify any of the components on the car to do it, it did not void the warranty. But if you add like a tuner and things like that, you could potentially void your warranty. So keep that in mind if you're financing new, because that's kind of a con to the new. Cons to used. You're not the original owner. You don't know what that guy did to the car. He could have been, blasting it up the freeway every night at 180 miles an hour. On the flip side, it may have just sat idling all freaking day, which is terrible for an engine. Just sitting here without actually doing anything at 700 RPMs causes more buildup than running it, believe it or not. So there you go. Number 2 is, I'm trying to think of a lot of bad things for owning a pre-owned car. Plus I made this video like 6 times on the way to work, so it's kind of losing me here. But another con is you're probably going to have to replace things sooner than you would on a new car, or do more preventative maintenance than you did on that new car. If somebody bought this car from me today, they'd have to throw some brakes on it. They'd probably want to consider throwing a clutch in it. They might want to change up a few of the things I've done to it. So there is that con. You're buying somebody else's car, somebody else's problems, and that also dovetails into buying a modified car. Should you buy a modified car? If you're a car guy, you know what's been done to it and you can verify with receipts and things, I would be less scared than if you had a vehicle that had engine modifications, different heads, different whatever, with no paperwork. Then you just have somebody's word for it. Oh, this engine makes 900 horsepower. Yeah, but it's slower than that guy's Fusion. Still has 900 horsepower, I told you, didn't I? So yeah, so that's a big con to it. Number whatever for a con, when you buy a pre-owned vehicle that is as is, you have no real recourse. Yes, you could still sue, and in some cases, if they blatantly lied to you, which goes back to one of my videos about ethics, you could win. But for the most part, buying an as-is vehicle literally means it's as is. You can't sue because the cup holder came out. You can't sue because it needed something that was unforeseen. You know what I'm saying? So there you go. So that's a quick pro cons. Plus I'm going to be doing a car video later today, so I wanted to put this up at least for the meantime. And then use your best judgment. Personally, I will never buy another new car unless it's a very special one. And that's a trap that I fall into myself. I wanted this because it was a track pack. I wanted this because it was the last of the generation of Mustangs that I personally feel looks like an American Mustang. I don't like the new ones. Here comes the hate. But that's something you have to consider. Would I buy a Z06? No. Would I buy a Grand Sport new? Probably. So take it or leave it however you want to. If you have any comments, leave them down below. If you have any questions, leave those down below. If you think I kind of babbled my way through this, that's because I did it in one take, which I now realize was probably the stupidest thing I ever did, because I wasted an hour on my entire drive here talking. So yeah, I will talk to you guys later. You'll see another video today on a car. I haven't decided which one. It'll just be a quickie, probably a walk around or an update or a different trim of a car that I've already reviewed, just because I haven't really picked something to do. So yeah, until then, talk to you later.